The North Central men's track and field team wraps up their season with a 5th place finish at Nationals, paced by 2 Cardinals who topped the podium. We look at the team's performance and wrap up another year in North Central athletics right now on the Cardinal Report. Welcome to the Cardinal Report. I'm Marc Dahlquist. Joining me to start things off this week is head coach for the men's track and field team, Frank Gramarosso. Coach, thanks so much for coming in. Congrats on a great season.
Thanks for having me again, and it was a great season.
And you guys ended the season with a 5th place finish at Nationals, going in ranked 7th. You got to be proud of the way the guys performed.
Yes, the guys who were at the meet did all they can do. It's my job and our staff's job is to try to get more people there so we have more ammunition to try to get the scores. We actually finished the meet with some heavy hitters, 2 firsts and 2 seconds, and we just needed those 5th and 6th and 7th and, grab a few more points to get back on the podium. So 4 points shy, we could have made it up somewhere.
Yeah, you were so close to getting that trophy, and really it's not those 1st place and 2nd places. It's, like you said, those 5th, 6th, 7ths that really can help a team get up onto the podium. What does this Cardinal team need to do to get that depth back next year?
Well, we have to, try to instill in some of our athletes who didn't make it at their national level and they get there, and then you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, everybody put forth great efforts. Our other guys in the 10K, I mean, they ran a lot of races this spring. We counted on them for maybe too many 10Ks, but, they gave it their best shot, and sometimes it's your day and sometimes it's not. It's trying to get that balance of heavy hitters. Sometimes we say, well, I'd like to score 12 points and have everybody come home an All-American, but you got to have a little bit of both. You want to have everybody have a successful meet and feel like they contributed in some way, and not everyone's going to have a great day, just like indoors. Winder was 3rd indoors, but then he comes back outside and takes it back, especially in those technique events.
Well, it definitely was a successful weekend, and the Cardinal Report was there to see the team take on the nation. Let's go to the highlight. University of Wisconsin lacrosse, the picturesque setting for the 2013 Division III Men's Outdoor Track and Field Championships. Zach Hirschpink looking to match his personal best in the high jump on day 2 with only 6 competitors left at 6 feet 10 1/4 inches. He's the first to clear it on his 2nd attempt, and he soars into 1st place. But he wouldn't be on top for long, as Nathan Davis of Heidelberg is the only athlete to clear 6 feet 11 1/2 inches to take the crown. Hirschpink finished 2nd in the nation. Josh Winder hoping to keep the Cardinal pole vault legacy alive in his last meet. Winder would clear his first 2 heights on his 1st attempt, and he kept that trend going at 16 feet 4 3/4 inches, keeping the field sweating. Only one competitor would wipe the sweat away and clear the height, as Zach Ferreira of Brockport State keeps it interesting, as he and Winder remain with the bar raised 2 inches. Neither could clear the next bar, and Winder claims the pole vault title for the Cardinals for the 4th straight season in outdoors. John Crane placed 2nd in the 10,000 meters on day 1, hoping to improve on that the final day of racing in the 5K, but early on, he doesn't want to be the pace setter. He was strategic with his race, and as the final lap bell sounds, Crane decides to put it into high gear. He chases down David Stillen of Wisconsin lacrosse, and with his teammates going crazy outside the fence, he moves into 1st with 200 meters to go. And Crane never lets up, crossing in 14 minutes 25.84 seconds, just ahead of William Jones of Franciscan, and he pushes the Cardinals into 5th in the team standings for the 2nd straight year. Coach, you mentioned Josh Winder in the pole vault. He started things off on the right foot in that meet, coming away with the 1st place finish and redeeming himself from indoors.
Yeah, it's not so much a redemption as it's part of the whole process. And again, in some of those technique events, you got to hit your mark, you got to put that pole in the box, you got to do everything once you leave the ground, and it's just one of those events. And he's been an indoor national champion, and now he's an outdoor national champion. But every meet he brings it, and sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not, and that's in a lot of technical events.
Yeah, and some of those events we saw on the women's side, the seedings can get thrown out the window. How much pressure do you think was on Josh, knowing that he's been there before, he's the top-ranked guy, and he's, defending national champion.
Yeah, I think our coaches do a great job in trying to take that pressure away. It's just another meet, but, I'm sure there was a lot on his mind, and, the more he can concentrate on the process of, all the workouts he's completed the whole year and being in the meet and, taking the chance to do everything correctly, and, then it's if the bar stays up, it stays up.
Also there on day one, you mentioned the 10,000 meters. The Cardinals had 4 guys running in that event, starting really to show that depth that, carries over from cross country, it seems like.
It was fantastic to have, 5 distance runners, 4 in the 10K and then Kramer in the steeplechase. It shows our younger guys that, we're doing the right stuff, and just believe in the process and do the things you're supposed to do, and it could be you. You could be there.
Yeah, some of the younger guys win it, but Jordan, that was his first national experience as a senior. What was it like for you as a coach to see him go out with that experience at a national meet?
Our goal is to always try to get you there early so you can experience that, but it was tough for both Kramer, Joey Michaels, their first time there. Even, Abraham as a freshman leading off a relay. I mean, tremendous pressure that they put themselves under, but certainly getting to the national meet and trying to do the best you can, sometimes it's just not your day.
Joey Michaels in his first national meet. You got to wonder if he hadn't been concentrating on football and track, he may have been in a couple of these before this.
Well, that's the beauty of Division III. He makes those choices. There's no athletic scholarships, and if he wants to play spring ball and try to run track, but obviously not being in spring ball, he only had one sport to concentrate on, and he made it to the national championship. And he contributed on our relay team. So he had a fantastic 4 years and a great senior year.
Well, it was exciting to watch him and all the other Cardinals. Don't go anywhere because we continue to break down the Cardinals with Coach Gramarosso right after this.
Yes, ready. Let's go get it.
Oh, come on, Randy. Animal shelter, here I come. And no, I'm not crazy or emotionally damaged. That's a stereotype. I just belong to a total loser. I'm a good dog. So if you want a pet, adopt. And if you see Randy, tell him he dropped his wallet.
Welcome back to the show. With us still is head coach for the men's track and field team, Frank Gramarosso. Coach, so we mentioned some of the heavy hitters really hit hard over the weekend. Josh Winder came in first, and on that first day, John Crane second in the 10,000 meters to really push the Cardinals' point total up.
Yeah, we knew he was going to be up there, and it's a national meet. You never know what the race is going to be like, and it turned out to be an honest race, and he got out kicked there, and I'm sure that's going to go in his memory bank to try to work harder and come back even stronger, so it doesn't give someone else a chance to do that again. But we were very pleased with that race.
And it was definitely in his memory bank the last day of competition because he went into that 5K, and he'd even told us after the race on Thursday that he really wanted that race. The 5K, he came in ranked second, and he proved to the nation that nobody was going to beat him.
Yeah, it was a fantastic race, just like many other historical North Central 5K, 10K runners. It was fabulous.
And John really seemed to, be confident going into this. That's got to be, good for you as a coach, knowing that he's a junior and he'll be one of the leaders on this team next year.
That's what it takes. We just left our first cross-country meeting, even though track just ended.
Yep.
And we talked about that. You got to have a defining moment to realize how you're going to train to put this all together. And he saw that last year, and cross-country and indoor and outdoor, he's putting it together.
Seems like cross-country's right around the corner. Never an off-season for coaches, huh?
Yeah, never.
And another guy who had an impressive showing in the middle day of the meet, Zach Hirspink in the high jump. For a moment there, he was sitting first in the nation.
Yeah, it was another fabulous performance to watch in an extremely technical event. And, he deserves it. He's worked hard. He's had injury. Like all of our athletes, there's always something that keeps you motivated to go through the injuries, to be a senior, to worry about graduation. But, he put all that behind him and, had his best jumps at the end of the meet, his all career jumps. So it was great to watch. And, my stomach dropped a little bit when I saw that guy, make that height. But, he stuck his nose in there and had 3 great attempts to try to tie that and go to another height. But what a fabulous 4 years. And trying to replace these seniors is going to be really tough for us.
Yeah, you can't ask for your best performance to come in a better meet than nationals, so it's got to be great for those guys. But the Cardinals really outperform themselves in every meet, and despite that, the WEAC schools coming out on top. You guys have had that battle with them over these past few seasons, and it seems like it's going to stay the same.
Yeah, I wouldn't want it any other way. You know, to be the best, you got to go against the best, and I know there's, you know, some talk on should you have a Division III-B or a Division IV, you know, private schools. You know, some of the private schools are upset about, you know, public schools, cheaper tuition, but, you know, we want to go against the best. So that right now the WEAC schools are the best, and we're going to keep running after them with whatever we got. And it's a tribute to our athletes, you know, to be at North Central with the academic standing we have and the, you know, cost of a private education, and they're, you know, working as hard as anyone else, trying to be the best they can be.
Well, and it's got to keep those guys hungry. It's got to strive. You know, the Cardinals want to strive to be better.
Yeah, that's what it takes. Again, that defining moment that an athlete needs to buy into the process and do the best they can do each and every day. And sometimes you're going to be on top of the podium, and sometimes you're not, and you just accept that and go on.
And you're losing some important seniors like Josh, Zach.
Yeah.
But what are some of these returning guys? Who are you guys going to look to for leadership on next year's squad?
Well, we're going to see how that materializes, certainly in the fall. Certainly, you know, our returning captain, Deontay Hackler, you know, is a junior, our only junior captain, you know, and he's got to help mold that fall program with, you know, our graduate assistants who actually handle the fall program, and see who really steps forward and comes up.
And I'm sure Deontay will want to step it up and hopefully qualify in an individual event after making the 4x4 this year.
Yeah, he's a returning indoor All-American, so, you know, I'm sure hopefully he's going to find a defining moment and, you know, do the training that's necessary and help himself first and then lead the team on the bigger and better things.
Well, there are plenty of big moments this season. Coach, congratulations again, and thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me again.
Don't change that channel, because after the break, we welcome in 2 All-American Cardinals who help put points on the board in nationals. We'll be right back.